say a prayer for the people in Haiti. I fear that things are going to heat up and become much, much worse here in the next few hours, as 72 hours seems to be the secret number where people start to lose hope and the bad guys rise up and start to take things into their own hands. Hopefully we'll be there in time with enough force from around the world to let the people know that law and order still rules in Haiti. You'll have to excuse me and my voice. I have been sick for the last few days, but I couldn't miss this special tonight, and I couldn't cancel it because the last time we had it scheduled was I went into the hospital for appendicitis. I think the audience is trying to kill me. Help. It's time to be heard, content of character. We want to switch gears here and look a little bit at big government and how it has really only built a culture of dependency with government and the African-American community. Our panel for this segment is Charles Payne, Angel Robinson. She is a local coordinator with the Campaign for Liberty, and Brandon Bryce. He's a community organizer in Harlem. Charles is over at the blackboard. I swear every time.
Hey, listen, I like getting the blackboard.
My blackboard. And by the way, why are you writing on a blackboard? Why don't you write on a whiteboard?
I tried it. You just can't read it.
All right.
Glenn, I want to talk about, because right now in this country, right, it's all about big government getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and why it's so dangerous, and why I know it's so dangerous because of what it's done to the black community. If you guys remember, in the summer of 1960, Martin Luther King Jr. was arrested in Atlanta. He was in a sit-in. It was a peaceful sit-in, and he was still in jail. JFK called the family in October. Bobby Kennedy called the judge and the jailer. Martin Luther King Sr. was a lifelong Republican, and he backed Richard Nixon. When they made those phone calls, he became a Democrat, and from that moment on, the Democrats and the liberals have had us lock, stock, and barrel. So let's talk about 50 years of what's happened to black people by blindly allowing big government to take over their hopes and dreams. In 1960, the lifespan of a black person was set. By the way, these are numbers that I've compiled, that I found. People may want to dispute them. Life expectancy for blacks was 7 years less than whites. Right now, white people live to 78, blacks to 72. 50 years, we've made up about 6 years. 50% of black kids did not graduate high school in 1960. In Detroit, the dropout rate is almost 75%.
It's unbelievable.
Wow.
In Los Angeles, 35%.
Jeez.
You can go down this road. Baltimore, it's about, what, 60%? And in the suburbs, it's 30%.
Charles, don't you think, and maybe I'll stop you here for a second, don't you think this is about the breakdown of the family? I don't think government can solve this.
It gets broken down because of this. It gets broken down because of this. When you give all your hopes and your dreams, when you take it from the family, when your family, we gave it away.
When dad is Uncle Sam.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the problem.
This is the result, though, of when you allow big government to take the place.
Okay.
Well, you know,
okay. Black people made half of what white people made. Well, today the black person makes about $33,000 a year. The average white person, $55,000. That hasn't changed too much. In 1950, only 8% of black households were led only by a woman. That was 20% by 1960.
8%.
Right now, by some reports, only 29% of black households have a father, have a male figure, yes.
Together with the amount of discrimination and racism that we had in the 1960s and compare it to the opportunities of today, it's actually much worse. And Glenn is right. The #1 priority of conservative values is faith first, and then to get the family back, because the best antidote to racism and poverty are those conservative values, and excellence, and a father in the home is one of those.
The key, though, is that we cannot give our souls, and people around the world, it's not just, well, we've fallen into the trap. We fell into the trap, but the country right now is on the cusp of perhaps falling into the same trap.
Wait, let me.
There's an important note here about black families, that in the 1960s, 80+% of black children were born to a two-parent household. That shift has gone completely the other way, where most black children in the 80 percentile range are now born to single-family households. When you think about that breakdown in the family, that is so key to what's going on in the family.
Brandon, this is kind of really what Bill Cosby talked about and was hammered for.
Well, it's interesting because one of the things that Bill Cosby said was you need to be accountable, you need to be responsible. But the more important thing is when we look at, as Republicans, as conservatives, when we talk about the fear of big government, we have to remember that big government, whether you like it or not, it's the perceived notion that they're taking care of much of low-income America right now, especially at a time during this depression. Maybe the solution should be more on smarter government, more responsible government. And I believe that if that happens, then what you'll have is you'll automatically shift to being smaller government because it'll be based on principle.
All right.
People right now, much of the American public, much of the lower income minority neighborhoods are dependent upon this. So you can't speak against something that is supporting the lower masses, whether you like it or not.
So, Angel, don't you think that this is a result? I mean, because I think the Republicans are just as shady, if you will, in many ways. This is really a result of a voting bloc, blindly following, and no matter what you do, you can't shake them. The Democrats, they just assume African Americans are going to not vote for the Republican. So, what do they have to do?
Well, go ahead.
Well, I used to be a Democrat, so I know where they're coming from, and you're born into this culture, and you think that the government is supposed to take care of you, and it's not just African Americans. It's spread throughout this entire country. Everyone thinks that they're entitled to some sort of living from the government, so we need to get rid of that sort of thinking. But that comes from the government stepping in and saying, hey, we will take care of you. Everyone deserves a living, as opposed to saying that everyone has the right to earn his living. So if we shift the focus to that and don't provide, if you provide someone with an outlet or with a
an escape hatch.
An escape hatch. They will take it. It's in human nature to do as little as possible to get the greatest
One of my
results.
favorite quotes from a founding father is from Ben Franklin. The best way to help people out of poverty is to make them uncomfortable in their poverty.
Exactly. It's like a domesticated animal never learns to hunt because you give it food all the time. Well, we never learn to live and to earn the things that we want because they're given to us.
Got to take a break. Breaking the cycle of poverty and how it's being exploited by Acorn. Next.